Hey everybody, Jeff here, and I trust that everyone had a great holiday week, and here we are approaching the new year. Hard to believe time is flying, but hopefully everybody had a good, safe, and enjoyable Christmas time. Honestly, I hadn't had a whole lot of vinyl in the past couple weeks, mainly because all of my money has been siphoned into buying Christmas gifts for the kids. So not a whole lot has been ordered. I've been trying to be a little more selective with what I buy, only because I know it's a big investment, and I do have a family, a pretty big family. So I've been trying to justify my purchases a little more. Do I really need that? You know, things like that. Struggling with that. Christmas came and gone, and get some gift cards here or get some extra money there, a little bonus here from various jobs I do. So I thought, I'm going to go out, splurge a little. Went down, picked up some stuff from the used vinyl bin at the record store. Now the record store I went to, when I say used vinyl bin, their prices can be up there. On average, I bought stuff from them before, and they have like a bin that's $3.99 and less. Tends to be not a whole lot in there. But on average, the records there cost about $7 when you're looking for something that's in very good condition, that's of any name that you might want to pick up. So that's kind of where I ended up landing. They had a couple other ones that I wanted that I did pick up. Figured I'd treat myself, but they were like $15. And I'm like, if I'm going to spend $15, I might as well buy the reissue for $20 or whatever. So I kind of stuck with came back with 3. First one I picked up was Frehley's Comet Live +1. Now this is an EP, and so I paid $7, and I was kind of like, yeah, $7 for an EP, but it's a great album, and I love Ace's stuff and would like to acquire all of his vinyl at one point. So I got his newer stuff. Figured I'd go ahead and get this. It's a great album. I listened to it again. It'd been quite a while since I listened to it, and just cranking it up on the bigger stereo rather than the computer speakers. It just renewed life. It just sounded really good on vinyl, so I was really glad that I did come home with this. And it's in real good condition, so I'm not going to complain. Again, splurging, treat myself. And the next ones I've been keeping my eye on these. These have been at that store for months and months and months, and I've seen them occasionally at other places. So I finally said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get them. They're on my want list. They're under $7. I might as well grab them. And that is Keel, The Right to Rock, his first album, and then The Final Frontier, the follow-up. I've always loved Keel. I had the Steeler album, when they came out, and was impressed with him there. Okay, so there was the other Keel album, but this was the first one that was released on the major label. This was the one that really got the attention. And I remember when this album came out. I remember the videos on MTV. I remember playing this thing to death back in the day. This was I loved his style, and of course this was the hair metal days when everybody was, that whole style with the torn jeans and the bandanas and stuff. And so, this album has always been near and dear to my heart, and I've followed Ron Keel over the years. Bought all the CD releases, of course. I've even carried over in the Ronnie Keel country stuff. Yeah, it's just because it's him. And the Iron Horse and some of the other bands he's done, I've tried to pick them all up. But so I thought, I gotta have this. It's in real good shape, which I've seen some in pretty poor shape, but it's really nice and shiny. It is pristine. It's almost new. And I got home and I threw that on, spun all the way through it, just loved it. Threw this one immediately after, just reliving the days and loving it. One of the best concerts that I ever attended was in 1985. I'm almost 100% positive it had to be 1985. There's no way it couldn't have been 1985. Keel was the opening band. Okay, I take that back. Keel. There was 4 bands. Keel was the one of the 3 top bands that was the opening band. So okay, the headlining band, if I'm not mistaken, the headlining band was Accept. Now this would have been the Metal Heart tour. It was either Accept or Helix. Helix was on the Long Way to Heaven tour. So, and then Keel on there. So 3 of just ultimately some of my favorite bands on the same bill together. This is down in Louisiana at a little theater type setting, smaller crowd, probably less than 1,000 in seats watching a concert, which I know that's not a way to do a rock concert. But anyway, except top of their game, just amazing. Helix, always amazing, just one of my all-time favorite bands. And then you got this newcomer Keel, who just tore it up. The only thing I do remember when I first saw him in concert, I thought, wow, he looks a lot smaller than I'm used to seeing on TV. And then the opening band was a little unknown band. None of us knew of them. They were a local, I believe, from what I was told, they were a local Louisiana band that got the slot. And they were a little band called Lillian Axe. We had no clue who they were. And of course, if you follow anything, probably within a year or so, they got signed and have put out quite a few albums. One of their albums they put out just a couple years ago, I remember listening to, was quite good. So they've been active in the past decade. But that was just great. So Keel has always been up there, and so I had to buy that. Just like I, have tried to buy all the Helix stuff I can get my hands on, just because, again, they're one of my favorites. Except, likewise, I only have one of their older albums so far. But when I see them, I did see Balls to the Wall the other day in the same record store, and I had it in my hand. It was had some ring wear to it. And I pulled it out of it, and the sleeve was just coming apart. The top was all coming apart, and they still wanted like $15 for it. And I'm like, I pass. Now, as far as new vinyl, I did get a couple of those in. Again, because I use that camel.com app site to monitor my Amazon feed, my wish list. Whenever I find some major drop in something that I want, I go ahead and pounce on it. And this was one of those occasions where here's an album that is still ranking up there in the $30-$40 range, and all of a sudden, boom, one hits Amazon for $17, and it's new and it's sealed, and I have no clue why this guy's selling it, but I didn't even hesitate to buy it. And that's the first Neal Morse, technically his first solo album, after he started doing Christian music. So this is Testimony. It is, now I understand, I guess there's a white version, and I guess this is a black version, which may be the price difference, but I don't mind. It is 3 vinyls, and then it comes, and it's almost like a book size, but it comes with, one of the vinyls is still there, comes in a nice, triple gatefold album. It's got all the lyrics, it's got all the information about all the musicians who played on it, including Mike Portnoy on drums. It's got all the backstory and everything. Just it's a very, very wonderful package, put together very well. And so when I saw this for that price, it's been on my wish list for a long time, and when I saw it for that price, I couldn't hesitate. So now, as I've shown in previous videos, I'm a huge Neal Morse fan. I have pretty much everything I can get my hands on that he touches. This album, even though it's his first, was just released on vinyl, I want to say in the past year, 2017. So it's fairly new. I have the newer releases on vinyl, but they've only just begun to start releasing the back catalog. And so Testimony is out, but none of the other albums are on vinyl yet. So it was good to have that, so I can kind of keep up. I hate it when they start putting out the vinyl, and all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I've got to catch up and buy like 6 or 7 vinyls to catch up. But anyway, so I went ahead and grabbed that for that price. The second one is something my son bought me for Christmas. It came in a couple days after Christmas, but that is Twisted Sisters Live at the Marquee. Basically, and it's on red vinyl. Basically, I just have a wish list of albums, and I share the link with the kids and people like that, and they buy what they want. And he chose this one, which was high on the wish list, so it's not a problem. Get the whole backstory. It's an open up gatefold, 2 volumes, and it's a classic live 1983. Now 1982 was when they put out their album. They got kind of popular overseas. They came back to America, started doing some stuff here, and in 83 this was recorded. And a lot of these live tracks were found on a lot of these singles over the years. When they put out their second album, they would put out a single, and then it would include live tracks from the 1983 Marquee show. So this is the entire show, and I believe it's been released a couple times, probably on CD, but I believe this is the first time on vinyl. And I'm a huge Twisted Sister fan, so I'm going to buy as much as I can get my hands on within reason. They have some of those other releases that I think it was Rhino that released them, the early club days and stuff. And I see that those had been at some point released on vinyl, but they have become pricey. But I'd like to get those even. But so it was good, like I say, it was a gift from my son, and so it was good. it's always good to have. So that's why I got that. Basically, I've only really bought the one vinyl that's new, and the rest have been used in the past few weeks. There's a lot of stuff coming out on the horizon. There's still a couple vinyls I'm waiting for from some of the fundraisers I've done over the past year or so. So that'll be coming in. But just tightening up the budget a little bit and, being a little more selective to be more frugal with the money there. For those of you who saw the previous 4 videos on the CDs I've been giving away, some people have responded, and I have shipped out a handful of packages already, so you'll be looking for those to be coming to your door soon. So if you are not aware of those, go back and look. The last 4 videos I did were some CDs I'm giving away. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great New Year. Happy New Year. Hope New Year's Eve and all that stuff's coming up, and hope you have a good and safe holiday season. And keep watching and subscribe and like and all that fun stuff, and rock on. Thanks a lot.